الحمد لله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأصلي وأسلم على رسول الله صلاة وتسليما لقلب الحبيب المصطفى النبي المجتبى صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وتابعيه وتابعيه إلى يوم الدين. أحبتي وأحبتي الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Would you like to have a good relationship with people around you? Yes or no? No. Few things in here, if you train yourself really well, you would have one of the best relationships ever with one. Why? For a very simple reason, as Islam is teaching us that ad-deen al-mu'amala, the whole religion of Islam is how to relate to each other, how to have a good relationship, how to take care of each other. This is the whole deen of Islam. And the ibadat, types of worship, of transactions, of the manner, of the behavior, of our moral system, and so on and so forth. It is how to relate to each other. Tonight, I decided to share with you a few things. It's not that much, and I'm sure you will work on them as hard as you can, as much as you can. And they have to deal with our memory. Either to remember really well or to forget really well. I know some people who have a great memory to memorize a lot of things. We have kids at the age of 11, 12, memorize the whole Quran. SubhanAllah wa ta'ala. Just a matter of training. Have some other people in their field, in their occupation, in their profession, they can memorize formulas of living. A lot of things. They can even give a lecture or presentation for hours and hours without even looking at some notes. And also on the other side, you have some people, they cannot memorize anything. They forget. Here, Islam is teaching us about two things. We have to memorize really well, to remember really well. And two other things, you have to forget totally. In order to establish a good relationship with people around you. Let's start with the things you only have to forget. Never remember, act or remember. Never. إن أساء إليك الناس فانس إساءتهم إليك. I know how hard it is for a lot of people. How come if some people treat me very badly, mistreat me, put me down, never appreciate me, never, how come I forget what they have done? Instant. Don't remember. Forget it. Put it behind your back. Whatever the shaitan comes to you to remind you of those bad things people have done to you, say, I don't want to remember. Erase it from your memory. Say that cognitive process and that storage in order to store those bad things there. Forget it. Don't forget it. إن أساء إليك الناس فانس إساءتهم إليك. What is the second one we have to forget? Never remember. وإذا أحسنت إلى الناس فانس إحسانك إليهم. You understand? If you did good thing to people, forget it. Don't even remember it. It should not come to your attention at all. You know why? Because if you did something good to someone and always when you meet him or her, don't you remember? I have done such and such to you. Do you remember the other day when you called me when we had flat tire and I was so busy and I came and I helped you? Don't you remember when you were moving and you need my help and I came to you? Don't you remember when we were taking that class and you were so behind and I asked for my notes and to help you in doing this and that? Do you remember when you do not have money and you ask me to borrow some money from you? I lend you some money. You always remember. As if you have done a big favor to that person and you always reminding him you are above him. You're superseding everything. If you did something good to some people, forget it. Let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it in your scale of good deed. In order for Him to reward you the best. Without even remembering. And for your relationship with that person, the more it comes to your mind, the more it comes to your seeing, you always look at him down. And you yourself become kind of with arrogance. I always do a lot of favors for you. I'm much better than you. I'm in a higher rank and position than you. Don't you remember? No. Forget it. Inside. You got it? Easily done, or it is difficult to forget? Although it is very difficult for some people to forget. But train yourself. Especially during this month of Ramadan. This is your training, intensive training month. 2 things to forget in order to establish a wonderful relationship with people. When people are bad to you, forget it. When you do something good for people, forget it. I will take this. Can we do it inshallah? Can we train ourselves? Can we start from tonight? Anything bad happens to anyone, erase it. Delete it. You know the button to delete? Delete it from your... See, delete. It's not going to be there. That file is done, is gone. The 2 files. إساءة الناس إليك وإحسانك للناس. But what you should remember? Always remember. وإن أحسن إليك الناس فتذكر إحسانهم إليك. If people have treated me well, always remember it. Always remember it. Anything, from a little thing, even smiling their faces toward you, come to you say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How are you? How is the family? How is everything? Or can I help you in doing this? Can I help you in doing that? And so on and so forth. Always remember this. And always appreciate it. And always be thankful and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And be thankful and grateful to Him. Every time. Every time. Let Him get sick and tired of you for being thankful and grateful. Jazakallah khairan. Allah, you remember when you did such and such for me. I will never forget. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you the best because you have done this and this and this for me. Jazakallah khairan. Kids to their parents. Jazakallah khairan, Baba. Jazakallah khairan, Mama. You have cooked for me. You have taken care of me. Jazakallah khairan. I always remember it. This is the memory. But subhanallah, the human memory, anything people done for me, I forgot. You see, that's all what you have done for me. You can do more. That's it. I need this and this and this, but you haven't done any of those things. I called you several times, you never returned my call. You always remember the bad thing, but never remember the good thing. Remember always the everything in order to be first thankful and grateful to Allah, be appreciative to people around you, be thankful and grateful to them, and always remind them. This will encourage them to do more of good things to you because you recognize it. Not when I meet you and say, that day I helped him and he never said it. He never even remembered. He never even recognized it. It would cripple that relationship between you and people around you. So you remember, when people are treating you well, in order to appreciate it, in order to be thankful and grateful to Allah, in order to be thankful and grateful to them, in order to encourage them to do more of good things to you. You got it? Easily done? No, it would be difficult. We'll do it, inshallah. The second thing we have to remember. إذا أسأت إلى الناس فتذكر إساءتك إليه. If you mistreat people around you, always remember, why I have to always remember I have done something bad to my dear brother, my dear sister, or my family members, or to my dad, to my mom, and so on. No, remember it. Remember it. Never forget it. Why? One, it will remind you I have done that something bad, I will never do it again. One. Two, it would remind you you're fighting shaitan, not to come and whisper to you and say, I have done it first time. He wasn't able to retaliate. She wasn't able to revenge. So I am in much more power. I can do it more and more to humiliate them. So when I remember, see, no. And in the meantime, when I remember something bad, it would help me to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me. And to ask that person to forgive me. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be merciful upon me. And ask that person to be merciful upon me, because I am a human being like you. I'm not perfect. I am not a prophet. I am not a messenger. But I seek forgiveness from Allah and forgiveness from you. So this would be a good reminder for me. وَإِذَا أَسَأْتَ إِلَى النَّاسِ فَتَذَكَّرْ إساءتك إليهم واستغفر الله سبحانه وتعالى لها. Ask Allah to forgive. I understand how difficult those things for some people to do. Extremely difficult for someone. But if you seek the refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you ask Him to show you His mercy, you ask Him to enable you to do those things, wallahi, you will be able and capable of doing it, as long as you have the good intention to do those things. And it is just a matter of working in your memory. And I know some people would be, memory-wise, would be very selective. If I like something, I remember it all the time. If I don't like it, I forget it. Now, some people, why should I forget about a gift for my spouse's birthday, or Mother's Day, or Father's Day, or Eid gift, or forget it. I'm sorry I forgot. But when it comes to my affairs, how can you forget your gift to me, at that day, and so on and so on. I have been always focusing on myself and forgetting about people. It would cripple that relationship. Again and again, إن أساء إليك الناس فانس إساءتهم إليك وإذا أحسنت إلى الناس فانس إحسانك إليهم. If people mistreat you, forget it. If you treat people well, forget it. وإن أحسن إليك الناس فتذكر إحسانهم إليك وإذا أسأت إلى الناس فتذكر إساءتك إليهم واستغفر الله سبحانه وتعالى لهم. If people treat you well, remember it. And if if you mistreat people badly, remember in order to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. This is the beautiful teaching of Islam, especially during the month of Ramadan, where doing our best to intensify our acts of worship, our manner, our behavior, in order for the rest of the year to be the best Muslim ever. I established the best relationship ever with people around me. اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خلقتني وأنا عبدك وأنا على عهدك ووعدك ما استطعت أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت أبوء بك بنعمتك علي وأبوء بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. اللهم إني وكلت إليك أمري فكن لي خير وكيل ودبر لي أمري فإني لا أحسن التدبير. اللهم ارزقنا بكل خفقة قلب فرحا وبكل طرفة عين مخرجا وبكل صباح مشرق عفوا وبكل مساء هادر صفوا وبكل ركعة استقرارا وأمنا وبكل دعاء استجابة ورزقا. اللهم آمين اللهم آمين. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Did anyone remember anything of what we said? Did anyone forget what we have said?